Good morning. Welcome to Mullin It Over. This is episode now 41 here on Thursday, May 19th. Got to crack open a cold boy.
Cold Red Bull boy.
It is, once again, Thursday, May 19th here in Tiffin, Ohio, and the sun is shining bright. It looks like it's going to be a beautiful day here in Seneca County. Let's take a look at the weather. Why don't we? It is partly cloudy with a high of 82, slight breeze around 10 miles an hour. It's going to feel like a warm summer night tonight as the low for tonight will get down around 69. That's nice.
Nice. Very nice.
Very nice. So let's talk about what's going on in the area first. And for that, we'll go to the headlines. Of course, we go to the Advertiser Tribune for our headlines first, anyways, and then we've got some other headlines. I try to stay away from the national news because, there's enough drama there. I don't really care, honestly. I really don't care about national news. But we will stick locally. Front page of the paper. Let's see. Opportunity Center. This was one that really caught my eye here, right in the center of the page. Couple of things to talk about here as obviously, Greg, you know, I've played in the Celebrity All-Star game for the last 4 games, I think now. This year was my 4th game playing. And
aging yourself now.
Yeah. Well, and they didn't have it for 2 years, so that's even worse. But, no, I love working with the School of Opportunity, and it's just one of my favorite things to do. It's my favorite event of the year, and it's honestly when Tiffin does a great job of highlighting itself.
Oh, absolutely, Nate.
You really see the people who care come out in droves, and they pack that place. Cyberling Gymnasium has never looked as big as it does on those days.
It was a great atmosphere for that game. So much fun, just positive buzz, like you said, all for a great cause, and everybody just having fun. That's the best two things to combine.
Absolutely. So once again, Opportunity Center is the headline on the Advertiser Tribune front page. First of all, to celebrate a milestone at the School of Opportunity. That's right, 2 students from the School of Opportunity, Hunter Fiesel and Shania Kidwell, will be celebrating their graduations as part of the class of 2022. Fiesel is a very neat and smart young man who can take lots of challenges, said his teacher, Nancy Wilson. Kidwell, according to Wilson, quote, loves to try new things, is not afraid of showing her feelings and telling what she wants. Quote, they both work very hard and accomplish a lot. I'm very proud of them for reaching this milestone. Nothing comes easy, so nonstop practicing and learning are required. I'm telling you, graduation is it's a huge feat for anyone, but for the School of Opportunity, they have a special program, and I mean, some students, they never really go on past the School of Opportunity. They stay there because, one, they feel comfortable there and they really love the atmosphere. They want that structure in their lives. It's a great atmosphere. There's a lot of quality, caring individuals out there that do a great job. But also, 2, because they just don't have the cognitive skills to move on to what they would consider a graduate level. And it's hard to do. It's hard to prove that, you are capable of moving on. And this is, honestly, it's a step towards independence for a lot of these students, and it's a huge step. And for this, we really want to give them recognition and congratulations to both Shania Kidwell and Hunter Fiesel.
Yeah, absolutely. Huge deal for them.
Absolutely. So once again, big shout out to the School of Opportunity, 2 graduates this year, and we are very proud to announce that here on Heart of Ohio Sports. Another headline from the School of Opportunity, one of my favorite people to work with from that organization, Christina Egbert. She's going to be doing something really special. She's going to be coaching at the Special Olympics USA Games. How cool is that?
Wow, that's awesome.
She's been selected to coach the Ohio Unified Volleyball team at the Special Olympics USA Games in Orlando, Florida. I mean, that's an honor.
That's crazy. I mean, that's a huge deal. Like, man.
Now, it's been 15 years since someone from Seneca County had been chosen.
I was going to say that's what I'm getting at, is like how I haven't heard more about this, because that's a huge deal.
Christina goes on to say, I'm beyond honored and excited to represent Seneca County at USA Games for Team Ohio this year. According to a release, unified sports teams bring together equal numbers of athletes with and without intellectual disabilities of similar age and disability and ability to compete against other unified sports teams. Egbert has been coordinating at the Seneca Arrows Special Olympics events since 2012. From the Opportunity Center, athletes compete in basketball, bocce ball, bowling, volleyball, track and field, and the pep squad and band. As we know from the Celebrity All-Star Game, they always bring out the pep squad. They bring out the band. They did a really good job this year on the national anthem and the pep squad coming out and doing the cheer before, during, and after the games. I love the event. But
I love having fun, and that's exactly what they were doing. It's having a good time.
The coordination with, not just the students there, but also bringing different people from the community together and coordinating with the students to put on like amazing different, all the different cheers that they have and all the different routines that they put together in a short amount of time. You think about it, like,
and they work hard on that, so it's nice that they got to show it off in front of a huge crowd that night.
For sure.
Oh my goodness.
For sure.
But did you say Egbert's been doing this since 2012?
She's been coordinating the Special Olympics events with the Seneca Arrows.
So she's definitely put in her work and her time here to earn this recognition that she's getting. So
definitely earned this for sure. And I couldn't think of anybody more
deserving.
That's a great word for it. I was trying to think of like something. Yeah, deserving. That's a great word. But yeah, great opportunity for Christina Egbert, and congratulations to the School of Opportunity. That's a really distinguished honor for anyone from that organization, but Christina definitely deserves that for sure. Moving on here in the headlines, Historical Octagon House is now an Airbnb. Did you see this?
I saw that somebody purchased it.
It's new Seneca County Commissioner Bill Frankert.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
I seen that they fixed it all up, I believe, and opened it up for Airbnb.
Yeah. So this is the one over in Green Springs. This is not the one here in Tiffin.
Not the one by the pit stop.
No, that one's still, I think Heidelberg owns that, but I'm not positive.
I think they do too. I'm not 100% sure, but
it just,
that thing
hasn't
been
looked
there
like anybody's
since
been in there for a while.
I mean, it's been there much longer than since my childhood, but I grew up at my Aunt Rose's, Tommy's mom, living on Railroad Street, so the Octagon House is literally right in his backyard, and it's just always been the same since I was a kid. It's like nobody has touched it.
Right. And then, I mean, I just think the uniqueness of these different houses.
They're definitely interesting. Like,
it's so cool. It really is cool. And they've done some updating and renovations to the house. They plan on making it available as a short-term rental on Airbnb. They kind of had that in the back of their mind a little bit, but their first goal was to get it bought and to keep it together with the farm that they already owned. It was they kept it with the farmland that they had previously purchased. So in addition to the historical 8-sided house that was built in the 1850s, the property also includes a garage, a barn, and a large wooded area.
I don't know why, but when you talk about Airbnbs and barns and farms, it makes me think about The Office and Dwight Schrute and how he did the same thing.
That's really cool.
I'm just like, at least I got the house as the main attraction, because I'm not sure why you'd want to get an Airbnb in Green Springs.
Yeah. So if you want to take a tour of this house this Saturday from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m.
Oh, they
are having a little bit of an open house tour. That's
nice.
Right. You can check it out. Also, Nana's Kitchen food truck will be serving tacos and other food. And just up the road, Beaver Creek Sawmill will be doing demonstrations, and they'll have some maple syrup for sale.
Oh, man. You know that's going to be some good stuff.
The sap was harvested locally, including trees from the local North Township Road 32 property. So you know that's going to be some
the real deal.
Quality maple syrup right there. Once again, the Historical Octagon House will have a tour this Saturday from 10 to 4 p.m. That's at 7618 North Township Road 32 in Green Springs. That's your headlines from the Advertiser Tribune. Let's take a look at the sports page, see what's going on in the sports area or in the area for sports, I should say. We did give some big recognition to the Tiffin Columbian tennis team recently, as they had an undefeated season. Yeah. I thought that was really cool. And just the entire team had an outstanding season. So they've got a bright future, because this isn't exactly like a senior heavy. They do have a couple of really good seniors with Jacob Weingart and Bryce Burns. But they have some younger talent on that team as well, and I'm excited to see how this team comes together over the next year or two.
So big congratulations to them again.
Absolutely. Let's see. Looking on here, front page of the paper. Okay, so Lakota Raiders move on. They had a sectional semifinal game against Delphus Jefferson where they blew out Delphus Jefferson 12-1 to move on. They are 21-5 now on the season. Now, I did want to make a correction about the Raiders and Calvert game from earlier this year and the Lakota Raiders and Hopewell Loudon game. They had actually had 2 rainouts from earlier this season. One of our listeners yesterday was kind enough to offer us a redaction and just kind of tell us that, hey, that's not actually what happened, because we don't know about the schedules aren't posted online after the rainouts, so we just go by what's posted as far as stats are concerned. And I really appreciate that when people reach out with, a correction, because it helps me get the things right. I want to be right. I don't want to be wrong.
It most definitely helps. We don't have a large crew here.
Yes.
And there's a lot going on. There's a lot going on in the area. So, if anybody, just on a side note to that, if anybody wants to make sure that a sport's getting recognized, if you have some information, just go ahead and shout it out to us. Let us know, man.
Send it to us.
We have no problem giving everybody the recognition they deserve.
Absolutely. Please, if you see something that we're kind of lacking in as far as our coverage is concerned, now we can't necessarily cover everything live, but we will give teams and individuals from this area the recognition and the due press and promotion that we obviously feel like every athlete in this area deserves.
Absolutely.
We just need to know this information because we don't know what you want us to cover. We just know what is always being covered and what sees the most traction in this area. And honestly, folks, I hate to break it to people. I know they don't like hearing this, but as a small operation and just being the few of us, we have to go with what sells. And to be honest, right now it's a difficult time for us because there's a lot of sacrifices going on with us moving into the studio and getting some things that we need as far as equipment and everything that we've invested into this. It's not like we have a lot of funds to be at all of these different places at once.
Right. And
we don't have multiple crews. It's just the one crew. So I can't cover both. If Tiffin Calvert is playing baseball and softball, I can't have a crew at both games and broadcast at the same time. It's just not possible.
Right. And that's where the community support comes in. You guys share the posts, share the videos. We get more likes, we get more follows, we get more sponsors, we get more crew, we can cover more games. That's just how these things work. So we're doing what we can for you guys right now as it is. And like I said, anything and everything that you want to be recognized, just give us a shout out and let us know.
For sure. I do want to take a pause and a timeout. I'm going to step aside for just a moment. We have a special guest joining us quickly here in just a moment on our Zoom call as Josh Morgret from the Advertiser Tribune is going to come on with us and do a little talking here. But we're going to step aside for just a moment. All right, here we are, back at it after a lengthy little technical difficulty back and forth. We figured out how to work Zoom, though.
I'm not much of a Zoomer, I'll be honest with you.
It's all good, man. Learning experience.
Like Josh was trying to use that advertising Tribune internet out there. That's what the problem was.
We figured out how to work Zoom, though. You got to put your headphones back in. It's all good, man. Learning experience. We're still learning, folks. I promise. That echo that you hear, it'll go away in just a second.
There you go. Now can you hear me?
Yes, much better.
I think I had you playing in the background. I was listening before I came on. So.
Yes, that's going to be an issue. We can't have that.
I'm out of it now.
Yeah, it's just picking you back up.
It's all good, man. It's all a learning experience, but we're learning, and we're good. We're good. Right. Soon enough, we'll be in the studio, so we won't have to do this. You can just come in and visit me. You know what I mean?
For sure. I've driven by a couple of times. It looks like you guys are getting to work there.
We are. We got the lease signed. It'll be turned in today. We got the keys. We are ready to go. And I'm hoping we'll be starting to move in this weekend. So most of the shows next week might be from the studio. Fingers crossed.
That's awesome,
Fingers crossed.
Right.
But hey, thanks for coming on with us, man. I really appreciate your time this morning.
Yeah, no problem. Good to talk to you.
It's always good to talk to you, man. So I want to talk about local sports. You're my local sports guy. We had a blast doing the old show back in the day. We won't mention any names or places or anything. We'll just say it was a blast that we had together in our times together. We've had plenty of experience together. So let's talk about baseball. Local baseball right now is hot. You got a lot of really talented teams in this area. And I know that you're following quite a few of them as I follow you on Twitter, Facebook, and you're a busy guy. You got a busy schedule when it comes to local sports. So let's talk about the team we're covering today, the Hopewell Loudon Chieftains, as they take the field, take battle with the Sandusky St. Mary Panthers. Talk about these Chieftains a little bit. So hot start, obviously, to the season, but what's going on lately?
Yeah, they've dropped a couple games here lately. The SBC River is difficult. There's not a whole lot of easy contests in there.
No, there's not.
When you're playing New Regal twice and Old Fort twice and Lakota, the Lakota Raiders are in first place by themselves in the SBC River.
That's crazy.
Not something I expected to say 2 weeks ago, but
they're so good. You watch them. I got a chance to catch them. Ben Hovis is dynamite. He is something else. Watch the game. We covered a game where he had 15 strikeouts against the Senecas.
Right.
I mean, it was just
wow. They're definitely coming on strong.
Yeah, but it's the Raiders. It's the Golden Bears of Gibsonburg.
Gibsonburg stuff.
We all thought that there was going to be a couple of contenders this year. Obviously, Old Fort's a good team. Their record might not show it, but they are a really good team. And, they still have a winning record, but I think they had expectations of, being one of those top teams in the river as well. And Tiffin Calvert, I think, as well had those same expectations at the beginning of the year. But it was just a meat grinder of a schedule when you talk about the teams that are in that league.
Yeah, Calvert's not a team I'd want to play in the postseason, and that's potentially Hopewell and Calvert next week in the district. So
we're hoping for it.
Yeah, for sure. But tough. But to get back to Hopewell, I mean, they're a good team. They're the top seed in the district for a reason.
Yeah.
Kane's going to give them a chance to win every time in that offense. It's tough.
So
I wouldn't want to have to pitch against that.
For sure. Swanigan he's a dynamite pitcher as well. We got a chance to cover a couple of his games. And I tell you, when he's got that curveball working, look out. But, you mentioned McDonald leads the SBC in strikeouts. I've heard recently he's got some possible injury issues going on. Maybe even like just an arm issue, just maybe, tired, fatigue arm at this point in the season because he's pitched a lot of innings. I'm pretty sure he leads the SBC in innings pitched. Talk about him a little bit. I haven't got a chance to cover him at all. Have you got a chance to see him?
Yeah, I seen him when they played at Old Fort, him and Miles Miller, but tough, big left-hander. I think he's either a sophomore or a junior, so he's got another year or two. But, like you said, I mean, he's going to get that ball on the big games, and he's going to get it as often as you can being the ace. So, he's expected to go out and throw 7 innings, 100 pitches every, 5 or 6 days, whatever it is. And, after a while, that can wear you down and get a little grind in there.
Oh, for sure. So we talked about the Chieftains a little bit. We cover them tonight. You mentioned the Senecas. Have you got a chance to cover them at all?
I've not seen Calvert last year. I got to run that tournament run with them all the way to the regional final. So I'm anxious to maybe hopefully get them here before the season ends.
Well, maybe next week, next Wednesday, maybe you and I cross paths. We'll see.
Clyde, yeah, beautiful field.
It is a gorgeous facility over there. But let's talk about the Senecas. I mean, they're a fun team to watch. I feel like the bats just haven't been there for them this year. They got a couple of big bats. Mason Johnson, Nick Palm, a couple of guys that come to mind. Garrett Spawn had a pretty solid season as well. But they just, the consistency through the lineup is really what they were missing this year. And I think that's kind of what did them in, because they had a lot of close games, close losses this year.
Yeah.
A lot of their wins were blowout wins, but a lot of their losses were really close losses. So
yeah, that kind of makes me think, if they would have won some of those, maybe that record's not what it is now. If you win 4 of those close games, that flips your record real quick. You look a whole lot better than you are.
Exactly. So talked about the Chieftains, talked about the Senecas. There's a couple other teams still in action. But let's switch our focus now. We have Columbian tomorrow as well. But let's talk about the softball teams in this area, because, Josh, I don't feel like we give softball enough press and enough coverage in this area. And for that, I apologize to all of our fans out there. But I know that you do cover a lot of softball games. And what's really caught your eye in this area? Because there's a lot of really good teams in softball as well.
The one that obviously stands out is who I'm actually covering tonight, and that's Mohawk Softball.
Yeah, heard a lot of good things.
Going for the second straight district title tonight against Plymouth, which is who they beat in last year's district title game, was Plymouth. So same thing, kind of a good offense top to bottom. And then, probably the best pitcher in the area, and Bailey Sheets, who's only a junior. She's going to terrorize teams for another year.
Wow.
So, but yeah, Mohawk, they didn't really skip a beat with Mindy Walton taking over a few years ago. Obviously 2 years ago, no season, but now they're going for second straight district title. So it's usually pretty good softball over there in Sycamore.
Yeah. Any other teams in this area that's kind of caught your eye? I know Hopewell has had a pretty solid season, undefeated in the SBC River, where, once again, that's a pretty tough schedule.
Yeah, they'll actually play Calvert tomorrow for a district title at Oak Harbor. That'll be obviously the third meeting between them. The winner of that actually goes east, goes to Strongsville for their regional. So you hate that they got to leave the area, but we'll guaranteed to have a team in the regional too, obviously, if Mohawk wins tonight. But Hopewell, sophomore pitcher Isabel Bidle-Cheese, hello, single season strikeout record.
Wow.
I think she's approaching 200 or maybe already over it. I think she had like 17.
Wow.
I think she had 17 the other night.
I did see that. That's crazy.
Yeah. And then you have a junior hitter, Shay Harper, who has, I just read this morning, she hit home run number 16 last night. So 16, yeah, that's a single season record. She blew by that. I think she had like 12 last year, so she has 28 in 2 years. Obviously didn't play freshman year 2 years ago, so she'll be the all-time career leader probably for the area by the time she's done. And just, when you have that in the middle of your lineup and you have an ace pitcher striking out 17 a game, that adds up to success.
That's a pretty good combination for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, softball in this area is alive and well. And another person we haven't even mentioned, Salem Moyer, SBC River Player of the Year, batting over 760 on the season.
Yeah.
10 home runs. I thought that was a lot. And then you say 16. I'm like,
yeah. They are by far the two most feared hitters, quite possibly in anywhere of our coverage area. Definitely right here in Seneca County.
For sure.
And is it okay if I take a moment and express something to you?
Absolutely.
Shea Harper, I just told you her numbers, right? 16 home runs, all-time single season. She was second team all-league.
What?
No offense to the girl that was first team all-league as catcher. Shea Harper was second team all-league.
Wow. 16
home runs. You can argue between her and Moyer who's the more feared hitter. I wouldn't want to pitch to either one of them.
No.
The second team all-league. And she's quite possibly going to be first team all-Ohio.
That's unreal.
So take that for what you want. I just want to get that out. Honestly, I
actually
kind of missed it when it came out. It came out, and then one of the Hopewell Loudon parents posted on Facebook like the list of everybody. And I sent her a message this morning. I said, one of those just makes me kind of literally want to LOL, laugh out loud. Politics, whatever. Second team all league with 16 home runs, which is going to be probably in the OHSAA record book before she's done.
Just unreal. Who votes for
Carry
that?
on.
Who votes for that, Josh?
Yeah.
That's not media,
that
guys,
just shocked
is it?
me. To be, I mean, she's hitting them left and right, and a lot of times she's not getting pitched to because of that. I'm sure Salem Moyer's got the same problem. Teams pitch around her because when you're hitting 760, not many teams are going to pitch to you. Yeah. So she's got 16 home runs, and I don't know how many intentional walks or walks this year. So I just wanted to express that, though.
Well, and you definitely, I'm glad you did, because that's just unreal to me to consider.
Yeah, and like I said, it's no offense to whoever was first team all league as the catcher. I mean, it's a girl from Lakota. I mean, the lists are out there, but I'm sure she's had a fine year. But that just kind of shocked me when I saw that.
Right. Well, that's what happens when certain people are in charge of voting, and there's bias involved. I mean,
there is.
And a lot of times,
and knowing Shay, it's probably going to fuel her. Like, I would be afraid to pitch to her tomorrow or in the regional or next year. Yeah, it's going to fuel her, and she's going to, next year I could see her hitting 15 or 20 more home runs.
Yeah, and it should fuel her. As it's definitely something that, we'll just leave it at that. It should fuel her. We'll just leave it there.
16 home runs, that is a lot. I mean, for softball or baseball in our area, when I see a kid that's got like 5 or 6, I'm like, they got some pretty nice pop on their bat. When they get to 10, you're like, they're probably a pretty dangerous hitter. But 16 and the season's not over. I mean, she could hit another 1 or 2 or 3, before it's all said and done.
Wow.
She could get close to 20 this year.
That's crazy.
Second team league.
Yeah.
Thank you for that. Thank you for that moment.
No, I appreciate it. Honestly, that's what this is for. This is the platform where we can speak our minds. This is not normal media, and it's not going to reflect on any of our professional, standing or anything. It's just, that's how we feel. And this is what I'm trying to create this platform for, is people like you to kind of express your feelings a little bit outside of your writing publications,
Yeah, I feel bad for Shay. Congratulations to the girl that was first team, and at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. Hopewell's playing for a district title for tomorrow, so
right.
That surprised me.
Yeah, well, there's always something surprising out there that kind of just throws me for a loop. Right. But locally, you got there's a lot of different things going on. Track season just wrapped up pretty much. Tennis season just wrapped up. Talk about the Tiffin Columbian Tornadoes and their undefeated season. Big accomplishment for that tennis team. We talked about that earlier on the program. Anything locally that you want to touch on before we kind of maybe move on to some national topics here?
Well, you mentioned a little bit with baseball. Honestly, I didn't do a whole lot of track or tennis this year, but definitely, Columbian baseball is solid. I got to see them twice last week. I actually saw them lose to Bellevue before they beat Norwalk, and what a good. I mean, that is, again, talk about a lineup top to bottom. My goodness.
Real.
The 7, 8, and 9 hitters were really the ones that really started them in that win over Norwalk. And, when you got Malad on the mound mowing down hitters and giving up 2 earned runs in 50 innings or whatever he's done, that's going to give you a chance to win every game.
You've got to see his stuff, haven't you?
Oh, yeah.
Good.
Yeah, I saw him pitch against Norwalk. And,
he's going to be fun to watch for Finley.
The crazy thing was Norwalk actually up 1-0 on him in the bottom of the 4th. Like, he had given up like 2 hits and like a pass ball or something crazy where Norwalk got a run.
Yep, we were there.
And it was just a matter of time before Columbian's offense got him that run and a couple of runs, and then it was over.
He just needed 2, honestly. It's all he ever needs is like, give me 2 runs and I'll get this win for you.
Sometimes 1.
We saw that earlier in the year.
Good. Yeah.
He had a complete game shutout, 1-0 win earlier this season. We were there for that. He took home the MST Sauce Company Player of the Game for that. So, I mean, big time performances by big time players, and that's kind of the MO for Tiffin Columbian this year, because they've got a lot of really talented kids on that roster, top to bottom. Like you said, it's a 1 through 9 lineup that really has impressed me. So they're another team that I've been impressed with since we started covering them. We had the privilege of being able to cover 5 games of theirs this year. And then we covered 5 Tiffin Calvert games. We had a few Old Fort games. That's another team. Have you watched Old Fort play at all?
Yeah, I had Old Fort baseball just the one time against Hopewell, and I didn't get to see Snyder pitch, but, solid team. They had some nice pop in their bats.
They're another team that, Snyder is a dynamite pitcher. He's a junior. He's coming back next season. I think he was like 4th in the SBC in strikeouts. And he's got that kind of awkward arm angle. It's like a slot angle. It's not really a sidearm. It's more of a submarine, but he doesn't really dip all the way down. It's cool. Honestly, I love watching him pitch. But then they have some solid bats, but like you said, but the one thing I noticed is there's not a whole lot of consistency through their lineup, just like Calvert. They have a couple of big boppers, a couple of guys who can really set the table. Casey Klaus comes to mind. Miles Miller's kind of struggled this year, but he is kind of a big bopper in the middle of that lineup. They've got a couple other guys, Carter Cleveland, but for the most part, they struggle to find those key hits in clutch situations. They, too, have had a few one-run losses. They had one against Hopewell earlier this year they came back to tie the game, and then they were down, I think, 2-1, 3-1 at one point. Then they came back to tie it 3-3 and then ended up losing in extra innings to what many consider probably one of the best teams in this area, or if not the best team in Division IV in this area. But, I mean, to watch them scrap and claw their way back, that's another team that, like you said, I wouldn't want to see them in the playoffs.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. I think they either host or they go to New Regal for a tournament game tomorrow, and the winner of that would move on to the Clyde district against potentially Norwalk St. Paul. So a lot of good teams in that district. That district always interests me to see who comes out. I know Seneca East came out a couple years ago, so some really good teams in there, and then you throw St. Paul in there, it'd be loaded.
Yeah, they do play New Regal tonight at 5 o'clock.
Tonight, yeah.
Yes,
yeah,
that is over in New Regal. So that'll be a good game. Another SBC River rival.
Yeah, New Regal just beat Hopewell the other day too. So
yeah,
I think last Friday I think they beat them.
They're a tough team, man. That's another, like I said, that SBC River. That's a grinder. It's a grinder of a schedule.
Yeah, you got to kind of line your pitchers up the way you want to. Plus, you throw tournament games in, and the league's still up for grabs a little bit. And
exactly.
So Monday night in Bascom is Hopewell and Lakota baseball, so that'll kind of be a big one too.
Yeah, that is a big one because that's for the SBC. Well, Lakota's sitting in first. It could. I think Hopewell could get a tie with them for the SBC,
and
right?
Gibsonburg's right there behind them too.
Yeah.
I think Lakota has 2 losses, and then Hopewell and Gibsonburg both have 3. So SBC River baseball is yet to be determined. Still to figure it out Monday and Tuesday.
And Lakota, at the end of this year, really, they have been coming on strong. They've been playing really solid baseball down the stretch. And this is the right time of the year to be clicking.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. It's the same thing like with Mohawk's opponent Plymouth tonight. Plymouth's only 13-9, but they've won their last 5 games. They beat a team at the top of the league, and then they won a couple of other games. So when you click at the beginning of May and the second week of May, a lot of good things can happen.
Yeah, exactly. All right, Josh, any other thoughts before I let you go here, man? This has been a great conversation. We could talk a little national sports if you want before we go.
Oh, national sports. The Tigers are not good.
Yep.
I see your Cleveland hat on. But
yeah, they're just right around 500, about what I'm
better
used
than
to.
the Tigers.
That's
Tigers
just
really,
Tito's magic, though. He keeps them afloat somehow.
Right.
Somehow.
Tigers came in with a lot of expectations, had some injuries. Not getting a whole lot of offensive production, getting shut out, whatever it was, 4 out of 5 games getting shut out, So I haven't watched a ton of Major League Baseball because it's kind of upsetting, but
You know who Tito kind of reminds me of when it comes to like legacy and how his career's kind of panned out? Jim Leland.
That's a good one.
Maybe not as cantankerous, but still has a nicotine addiction just the same, and
yeah, definitely
dealing with health issues at the latter end of his career, and won a World Series somewhere else, went to a different team, and just kind of played middle of the pack baseball the rest of the way out, and took that team to a World Series, but didn't win.
Yeah.
See, you can see the parallels. There's a lot of parallels here that you could draw.
Right. No kidding.
But
yeah.
But anyways, you're not much of an NBA guy, are you?
I watch a little bit.
You watched that game last night?
I didn't. I watched a little bit of it. That's the Warriors.
I knew it was going to happen. Everybody was trying to tell me, "Oh no, Luka! I'm telling you, Luka!" I'm like, I love Luka. Trust me, I'm the biggest Luka fan in this area. I was screaming from the hilltops. I wanted the Cavs to trade up and draft him when they had the 7th pick. And if you think about it, the Hawks had the 5th pick in the draft, or the 3rd pick in the draft, and the Mavericks had the 5th pick. The Mavs traded Trae Young for Luka pretty much straight up.
Yeah.
I don't know how that happened, but pretty much straight up on draft night. So it basically, the Cavs could have thrown in just a little bit more compensation and possibly trade, but I think it was more the point guard swap thing. But I've been a Luka fan since he's been coming into the league. Yeah. But I knew this series is just too difficult. The Warriors are
the Warriors.
They're a tough team. They have a ton of experience, but now they also have a ton of youth coming off the bench, coming into the rotation. Jordan Poole, Jonathan Kuminga, Wiseman. You got a lot of guys that I don't know how they acquire all this wealth of talent the way they do, but it seems like they've got the next big 3 coming up in the works. And it's just kind of scary to me as a Cavs fan to think these guys probably are loading up for another little 4 run, aren't they?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And, they scored, I think it was 112 points last night, 7 guys in double digits. I think Curry was the leading scorer with like 20 or 21, I think.
Yeah.
And just, I mean, if Dallas can maybe steal a game 2, they get some momentum going back to Dallas, but like it also wouldn't shock me if the Warriors win in 4 or 5. Right. It's just it's the inevitable.
Yeah, it is.
Maybe Luka goes off for 50 one night and they steal one, but now trust me, I would love to see Dallas in the finals just for my dislike for the Warriors. Draymond Green is my least favorite basketball player of all time, maybe athlete of all time. So I would be quite content with that.
You're not a Draymond fan? You don't listen to his podcast? The best thing on
podcast.
Oh my, it's awful. It's horrible.
Well,
people love it for some reason. I have no idea why. I tuned in. He's literally got like a crappy microphone with a shitty little filter cover over top of it, and it's flimsy. It's falling all over. He's got the cords. He's holding the microphone in his hand while he's talking. What are you even doing here, man? Like, and it's about the content, not the. Yeah, I just don't get it. And his thoughts are just ranting. Most of the time, it's like, what are you even talking about? I have no idea what he's talking about. He reminds me a lot of Kyrie, but with a little sprinkling of Rasheed Wallace. Like,
I mean, that doesn't surprise me. Like when I hear him in the post-game interviews, I think the same thing. Like,
because he's smart. He's smart. He can articulate his thoughts.
He's a college-educated guy.
For sure. But like at the same time, you listen to him talk, and I'm like, I just want him to shut up.
That's how I feel when I see him on the basketball court. What was it, like game 1 in the last round, the flagrant foul where he got ejected. I'm like, dude, you hit the guy twice. You hit him in the face and then you smacked him upside the head. Of course, that's a flagrant foul.
Right.
Like, how do you argue that?
Yeah.
But that comparison to Rasheed Wallace, that's good because Sheed would always.
Both teams played hard.
I mean, that's every athlete. They never think they commit a foul or a flag in football, But it's like, okay, enough of the. You're over the top with it. Just you're flagrant foul. You're ejected. Your team won the game. You won the series. Blah blah blah. Move on.
I'm just waiting for him to yell "ball don't lie" during a missed free throw.
He probably will, or he'll say it in a post game sometime. He'll get ejected and he'll be like, "Ball don't lie."
Or you go to the post game. Both teams played hard. Both teams played hard.
We gave it our full effort. That coach speak. I know I get a lot of that when I interview coaches. I don't know about you when you talk to coaches or players.
Yes. All the time.
I need a little more than that. I know that's
substance.
How you feel.
Give me a little more substance.
Yeah.
They don't want to give you anything. They don't want to give you any bulletin board material for anybody else. That's
Yep.
As a coach, I can understand that for sure.
Oh, I do, but it's still like I gotta put
as
something
a media guy.
Besides that.
Yeah. As a media guy, I'm like, give me something to work with. Give me something here, some substance.
Same.
All right, Josh. Sure. I gotta let you go. We're getting close to 9:30 here. Any final thoughts though before I let you go? I'm really thankful once again for you coming on. Appreciate your time this morning. I know you got a busy schedule, but thank you once again for carving us out a little block here.
Yeah, no problem. I enjoyed it. The weather's supposed to be, I know it's going to be warm today and tomorrow, but, go sport local sports and, go out and catch a game before it's over. And it's crazy to think here we're, 2 weeks away from the end of spring sports. I mean, I remember me, you, Tommy, and Greg sitting at Mohawk there that first Thursday of the high school football season.
That's right.
Feels like it was like 2 days ago and it was 9 months ago or whatever, and it's almost over. And
Wait till
It'll
football
be time
season
to
this
charge
year.
up over the summer and get right back at it at the beginning of August. And another year in the book, pretty much.
Right. That's right. Well, hey, I do want to keep doing this weekly basis kind of thing. Let's touch
we
base.
figured out how to Zoom too.
Yes.
Or I figured it out. You had it good.
That's all
good.
We're good. No worries.
We're good. Yeah. I was on my tablet. I kind of went in one of our offices because I got coworkers sitting here beside me, kind of giving me weird looks. So
it is what it is. It's your job. You're good.
They're laughing at me. I actually work with Bryce Burns' grandma here.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, we talked about Bryce a little bit, so there you go.
Yeah, we did talk about Bryce in Tennessee. Good season for Tornadoes and the basketball team, the nice run they had. So.
Oh, yeah. Great player.
Yeah. Yep.
So once again, thanks, Josh. Appreciate your time.
All right. Appreciate it, man.
All right. Thanks again to Josh Morgret from the Advertiser Tribune for coming on with us. Appreciate your time as always, Josh. So let's talk, Greggy. We got a little bit of time here. It's about 9:21. I don't want to rush things or anything, but I got some other stuff I want to do before I got to go to work, and I got to leave here at like 10:30 to go to work. So luckily I live like 10 steps away from my job, so it's not that big of an issue, but it's still like I got to leave sometime soon.
When we get in the studio, you'll be 10 steps away from one job and 5 steps away from the other one.
That's right. That's absolutely right. It's great. It's awesome. I love it.
And what's Chelsea's work about 15 steps down the street?
Exactly. And you would think that was, on purpose or no, it's just coincidence.
That's funny.
It's literally just a coincidence. So let's talk weird news before we get off here. I've got a couple things I really want to touch on. There's there's a couple of stories here that I thought, man, this is great. I got to talk about this with Greggy for sure. So first of all, Greggy, you got bad knees, right?
I don't even know if you can call them knees at this point. I'm not sure what's left in there.
I mean, I'm sure there's people out there watching, listening, that they have bad knees as well, too. So the Pope Francis has bad knees. Did you know this, Greggy?
No, I didn't actually.
That's right.
I mean, he's old, so.
That's right. He's got a bad knee. They asked him recently, so what do you do for your pain in your knee? It says he's got some issues that are kind of debilitating. He needs a wheelchair to push him around. He's got some strained ligaments in his right knee. It's been dealing with it for a few months. He uses a wheelchair and a cane so he can let it heal right. People asked him, they say, what do you do for your knee? And he says, some tequila.
The old pain go bye-bye juice.
It's funny because he was, delivering a speech in front of a group of Mexican seminarians from the Legion of Christ.
Oh, so he was just playing to his crowd.
He was just playing to his crowd. That's all it was. And the seminarians laughed and promised to deliver a bottle to the Santa Maria Hotel where Francis lives. So do you think he was really being honest, or do you think he was just being like, hey, I could use some tequila?
I mean,
I like free tequila. What's the best alcohol, Greggy? Free alcohol, right?
Right. I'm sure he was joking, but there's a little bit of truth to the joke. I'm sure he was probably like, go ahead and send that bottle on.
Yeah, he's in very good health. Nothing wrong with him other than that. It's just, he's got some problems in his knee. And takes a shot of tequila every once in a while to kind of ease the pain, man.
Ease the pain.
So I have something in common with the Pope. All right, so here's another one. You ready for this? Stop picking carnivorous penis plants. That's right. The Cambodian environmental officials are pleading.
Sounds like
people.
A tongue twister.
The Cambodian government recently asked people to stop picking a rare carnivorous plant that, when viewed from a certain angle, looks like a human male genitalia.
Oh my God. So people picking this just so they can get the right angle of it and be like, bro, look.
The Cambodian Ministry of Environment shared images on Facebook of 3 women snatching up pitcher plants and posing with them. Women? What are we doing here? What are we doing here? These officials request that members of the public leave these rare plants alone. What they're doing is wrong, and please don't do it again in the future, the Ministry of Environment wrote on May 11th in a Facebook post. Can you imagine the comments on this Facebook post?
Oh my
I
God.
must find this Facebook post. Let me see the Facebook post and the comments.
Good Lord.
Oh, it's all, never mind. I'd have to translate everything. Yep, never mind. It's not, because if this was posted in America, oh, good Lord, that would just be a riot. The comments would just be.
They'd have to turn the comments off.
They
It'd
really
be
would.
ridiculous.
They absolutely would, for sure. Once again, please stop picking. Stop picking the penis plants. All right.
Hands off the merchandise.
Hands off. Hands off, ladies. Hands off the merchandise, ladies. All right, let's move on. This is something that I would do. Florence coffee bar customer calls police over the price of espresso. And get this, he got the coffee bar fined €1,000 because he complained to police that the price was not displayed behind the counter.
Wow. Talk about your loopholes there.
A coffee bar in Florence has been fined €1,000. That's 846 pounds.
Jeez.
After a customer got steamed up over the price of a humble cup of espresso. Customer called police after being charged, get this, €2 for his coffee. That's $1.70, or I'm sorry, 1.7 pounds. I don't know how you say that. 1 pound, 7 pence.
Imagine living in a world where you can call the police over a price of coffee. Like, there's nothing else better going on. They're not busy.
And it was decaffeinated coffee. The guy wanted decaf coffee.
This is
That's the
highway
kind of guy
robbery.
who would complain about the price of coffee. The guy who wants decaf coffee, yeah, of course you're going to complain that it was €2. Get out of here.
I'm not paying for that
You're
caffeine.
done.
I'm not paying extra for the caffeine that's not in here. It's not happening.
All right, let's move on. That one's done. This one is one where I was like, Greggy would totally do this. I got to talk about this with Greggy. All right. Pinellas Beach man created fake Trump pardon to try to escape charges, feds say. A man from the Pinellas beaches fabricated a fake pardon from former President Donald Trump as authorities investigated him in connection with a number of fraud cases, the U.S. Attorney's Office in Tampa reported this week.
There's, dude, talk about things that aren't going to work. Like, I mean, we've come up with some crazy ideas before, but a presidential pardon? How are you going to fake that? And who's going to buy that?
I have a permit. It's right here. It says I can do what I want.
Guys, everything
Signed me.
Everything that I'm in trouble for, I am forgiven for. It says so right here.
Right here on this paper, signed by President Donald Trump.
He totally signed it, guys. It's totally real.
Totally real.
Good Lord. I mean, but then again, who knows? Maybe this guy's been like a world-class scammer, and he's got
definitely
away with tons of things. So
This
he
is
thought he
why.
could get away
Listen,
with it.
let me keep going. Here's why. If convicted, he could face up to 30 years in prison. He's accused of using fictitious charitable entities, including one called Love and Bliss Incorporated, to take part in a number of schemes. One fraud included applying for and receiving 2 payroll protection plan loans, totaling about $196,000.
My God.
He was also involved in a check kiting scheme and tried to deposit $2.7 million in worthless checks into the Love and Bliss business account, the government said.
So basically,
he's
thought
trying to
he was
deposit
getting away
checks
with a
that
lot
weren't
of
even
stuff.
real. Yeah.
And that's why they were looking at him. And then he's like, you know what? Just in case I get in trouble for all this stuff, I'm going to make up this presidential pardon real quick.
So after the launch of an investigation, the government seized $337,000 from one of his accounts. When he discovered that the money had been frozen, he attempted to have it released by producing a fabricated pardon purportedly signed by former President Donald Trump.
Give me back the money.
Give me
that
back my money.
I stole.
Me money now. My money. Give me money now.
He's probably like, let's see.
Signed President Trump.
Let me see if I can get this money back and fly out of here.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened.
Man, A for effort, I guess, right?
Oh, I was like, yep, Greggy would totally do something like that. Nope, just here. I have a permit right here. And then this one will cap off everything here. A man mistakenly sent 46.3 million yen in COVID funds, gambles it all away.
God, man, you already hit the lottery.
$360,000 value in U.S. dollars, 46.3 million yen in COVID relief money by the Western Japan town he resides in. Says he gambled it all away on overseas casino sites.
Oh, my God.
The man is unlikely to be able to return the money transferred to him in error by the town of Abu Yamaguchi Prefecture.
Yeah, because it doesn't have it anymore. Oh, my goodness, man.
A resolution through litigation is being considered. Oh, okay. Lawyer said the man had told him that he had moved the money out of his account using his smartphone. The lawyer said that the man lives alone and no one else is believed to be involved in the matter. The town sued the man for around 51 million yen for the full return of the funds plus legal fees. According to the town, the man had refused to return the money, saying it was, quote, moved from my account and cannot be returned. I will atone for my sins. Sorry, you're not getting your money back, but hey, sorry.
I will atone
I
for
will
my
atone
sins.
for my sins.
What does that equate to? Give us our money.
Nope, sorry, you don't get your money back, but here's a IOU.
That's
That's
so
pretty
crazy.
much what he said.
It's like,
But here's an IOU.
You guys accidentally sent me money. Your bad.
That's your bad, not mine. Sorry.
And I can't give it back to you.
Did you
because
really think I was going to do something nice with this?
I moved it to another account. It just can't be returned. Sorry.
Oh, it's good stuff. That's good stuff. All right. That's weird news for today. I just want to touch on a few things before we wrap things up today. It's 9:32. We ran a little bit over, but we had a great interview with Josh Morgret. Want to thank him once again for coming on with us.
Yeah, I'm glad that everything got worked out. It was looking a little choppy there at first.
Yes.
I was a little scared. I was like, Josh, what are you doing? What are you doing?
Yes. Also want to thank you, Greg, for coming on with us this morning.
Oh, no problem, man.
Always appreciate your time. It helps me out because it helps me bounce things off somebody. It doesn't mean
right. It's hard to try to, who wants to talk to themselves?
Yeah, it's really hard. Tonight we do have a baseball game we're bringing to you live here on Heart of Ohio Sports, as we are covering the Hopewell Loudon versus Sandusky St. Mary baseball game. Sectional final matchup live from Bascom, Ohio. Tune in right here on Heart of Ohio Sports. That is a 4:50 pregame show at 5 o'clock first pitch right here on the pulse of the Buckeye State. Tomorrow's episode of Mullin It Over will be a special episode, as it will be a pre-taped episode. I have a dentist appointment tomorrow morning, so I won't be able to do the show live, but I will be airing a pre-recorded interview. Myself and Ben Gillig sat down for an interview this past Sunday, talked a little bit about him, and he's got a history segment that him and I are going to start doing every Friday, hopefully Friday. We'll see. Maybe it might be a different day of the week every once in a while, but we want to start doing a sports history segment here in Seneca County. But before we do so, we wanted to take some time to kind of introduce him to you, all of our listeners, and all of our faithful Heart of Ohio sports fans. We wanted to make sure that, give a little bit of time to have him come on and give his story. So that's pretty much the basis of what you're going to see tomorrow during Mullin It Over. It's going to be a Zoom call interview between myself and Ben Gillig from this past Sunday. We pre-recorded the interview. We did a little bit of editing, and I'm going to do a little pre-recorded segment that I'll put before the video as just a, what's going on tomorrow morning and our lineup for the day. And then that'll pretty much be it for tomorrow. So once again, tomorrow is a pre-recorded segment of Mullin It Over, live interview or a interview with Ben Gillig. So tune in. Make sure you tune in tomorrow morning for Mullin It Over at 8:30 a.m. right here on Heart of Ohio Sports. And also you can find it. That is on YouTube, Twitch, Facebook. Also, you can follow us on Instagram and Twitter, all Heart of Ohio Sports. Search for that name. And then make sure you follow the Facebook page, Mullin It Over. It's a Facebook page I created a long time ago as just kind of like a vlog type thing I've started a while ago. We resurrected the idea now, and it's a morning show. So make sure you like the Facebook page if you see it and you happen to come across it. We do stream the video to both that page and the Heart of Ohio Sports page. So, yeah, make sure you like the video, share, like, follow, subscribe, all of our platforms. Help us get the reach.
And give our website a little.
Yeah.
Check our website out.
There you go, Greg.
New website.
New website, heartofohiosports.com, folks. Make sure you check it out. If you got some time today, head on over, check out the article written by Joey Krajewski. As he wrote up a really cool article about the Browns draft. It's like a recap of the Browns draft. Once again, that's on heartofohiosports.com. All right, Greg, I think that's pretty much going to wrap it up. Make sure you tune in tonight. High school baseball playoff edition right here on Heart of Ohio Sports, as we've got Hopewell Loudon versus Sandusky St. Mary. Once again, right here, live. Tune in right around 4:50 for the pregame show, 5 o'clock first pitch. That's going to do it. For Greg Kinn, I'm Nate Mullins. Thanks once again to Josh Morgett for coming on and joining us this morning here on Mullin It Over on Heart of Ohio Sports. Thanks for tuning in. Make sure you share the video. Share the video. Thank you once again. Have a great day.